Welcome, everybody, to the NFL Prediction Show. We have a special edition where we are going to break down the New York Giants at the Philadelphia Eagles. The Philadelphia Eagles are favored by 7.5 points, probably at about the right line. If you're looking at the Eagles earlier in the season where they were really good, I'm Mike Goodpaster, and I want to remind you guys to sign up with stake.us and use our exclusive promo code TGTSocial to secure your unique 5% rakeback bonus. Also, go check us out on Twitter at Grueling Truth. But today, guys, we are going to look at the Giants at the Eagles in an NFC East division battle. It'll be the third matchup. And as we saw last week in the wild card games, third time around can be a charm, and you can end up with the best game out of all of them. And I think that's what's going to happen here. The Eagles, as you know, hammered the Giants. Week 14, like 48-22. And then at the end of the season, the Giants didn't play hardly anybody in that last game. The Eagles started Jalen Hurts. They started everybody. The Eagles got a big lead, held on at the end of the game. So that sets up this third game. And the big question is, if you're a Giants fan, how did the Giants win this game? Why would they win the game? Now, that's simple. Don't turn the ball over. Rely on your run defense. Assume your running back might just be the best player on the field because he probably is. Get your defense off the field with a slew of third down stops. Take the attitude that nobody believes that you can do this. Come together as a group and go out and fight. That all sounds real easy talking about it. It's really hard to actually do it in real life. But all the pressure here is on the other side of the field. The Giants are playing with house money. Nobody thought they would be in the playoffs, much less win a playoff game. And last year's Eagles team was brutally pushed out of the playoffs by Tampa Bay and pretty much a one-sided ass whooping. In 2020, they only won 4 games. So really, the Eagles are not a very experienced team here. And the Eagles were hardly themselves over the finishing drive of the season. As Jalen Hurts was banged up, the team lost 2 of its last 3 games. And the win over the Giants in Week 18 was exactly a thing of beauty. Now, considering it didn't play all that well in the win over the miserable Bears, it's going to be well over a month since Philly was operating at peak efficiency. Now, granted, the last great performance was a blowout over the Giants, but that was like 6 weeks ago now. And this is a different, more confident Giants team coming back from that Minneapolis win. Now, they have to win the turnover. New York turnover battle. New York is 7-2 when it doesn't give it away. When they run well, it's 5-0 when it runs for 170 rushing yards. So stay in this game until late, control the clock. And can Daniel Jones make plays? I think what we saw is Daniel Jones is a warrior at quarterback. I don't know how great he is yet, but he has definitely gotten much better in the tutelage of Brian DeBall. And I think the sky's the limit right now. I think the Giants could actually win this game. Do I think they will win it? I'll let you know that in a little bit. Now, how did the Eagles win this game? And this is simple. Be what you were 6 weeks ago. But a lot of times it's really hard to turn it back on and turn it back off. Now, the 2022 Philadelphia Eagles aren't the 2022 Vikings. Minnesota was a nice team with a lot of weapons on offense, but it also had the NFL's second worst defense. It made Daniel Jones look like Joe Montana. And as good as Jones has been when he's right, he only threw for 300 yards 3 times this year, twice against the Vikings, once against the Lions. Those are not 2 of the better defenses in football. He didn't play well in Week 18. He was held to 169 yards, but ran for a score. And that's not the real issue here, though. The real issue for the Giants is if Jones is bombing away, it means the running game isn't working. So if you're the Eagles, the key here is to shut down the run. The Giants are 4-6 when they don't get to 130 yards rushing, including 2 losses to the Eagles. What was the real problem for Minnesota? It couldn't get the defense off the field. It was awful on third downs. It allowed the Giants to convert 7 of 13 chances, and the O had the ball for 7 fewer minutes. Time of possession really isn't that big a deal for the Eagles because they are a quick strike offense, but the third down stops will be. Now, the Giants only converted 8 of 27 tries into 2 meetings against the Eagles this year, and they lost the ball control battle in each game. So when we look at this, it's simple. The Giants have to be able to grind it out, keep the Eagles off the field, because I think Jalen Hurts showed a couple weeks ago against the Giants that he was rusty. He's had 2 more weeks off. It's not like that rust is all of a sudden going to be gone. So I look for them to have a slow start. If you can come out as the Giants and you can get the ball to Saquon Barkley, Daniel Jones, whoever you want to run the ball, and you can take time off the clock, you can eat it up and maybe limit Philadelphia to where they only have 3 or 4 possessions in the first half. That rust may not ever come off in this game for Jalen Hurts, and then you've got a really good chance to win. Now, the Eagles' running game has destroyed the Giants' D for 253 yards in the first meeting. We'll have to take over early on because Jalen Hurts is going to have issues. Now, when we look at how to bet this game, I really like the Giants here. And I don't know. I think maybe I'm buying too much into what Daniel Jones did one game last week against a bad defense. I think they can keep the score relatively low for a while, but I think the Eagles will win this game at the end. Now, it's a 7.5 point spread, though. So when I look at that 7.5 spread, my top bet for this game is to go ahead and bet the Giants to cover the game. I think the Giants have a very real chance to win this game. To me, this game is 60-40 Eagles. The Giants have a legit chance. I'm going to take that 7.5 points, and I'm going to bet on the New York Football Giants to stay in the ballpark. I think the Eagles will sneak the game out at the end, but I think the Giants are the best bet, minus 7.5. All right, guys, remember, it's not just sports betting. Betting.net compares the best online sports books for you, the best online casinos for you. All you have to do is sit back, relax, play the top online slot, poker, and table games. Make sure you check out stake.us. And also make sure you go follow us on Facebook so you get all of our stuff. And like, subscribe, hit that notification button on YouTube. Tell all your friends about us. We're not ESPN, so we're not going to give you the NFL slant to everything. And follow us at The Grueling Truth on Twitter. But for now, I'm Mike Goodpaster. You've been watching and listening to The Grueling Truth, where the legends speak.